In our last video, we looked at how centre-backs create space off the ball by positioning themselves to escape pressure. This time, we flip it. What happens when they are already on the ball? And what are they trying to do? How do they do it? And why? This is the role of a centre-back in a possession-based team. When a team has possession, the ultimate objective is always the same: to score. But in reality, it's not that simple. The opposition is always trying to stop you at every moment. That's why teams approach the game differently. While others will go long, some will play direct into transitions, and others will try to build everything through structures. In this video, we are focusing on possession-based teams. They try to score through controlled progression, moving the ball from build-up through midfield into the final third. And in that structure, centre-backs becomes crucial, especially with modern goal kick rules where they are often involved from the very start. So when the centre-back is on the ball, their job is simple: to progress play while staying secure. But that's where it gets interesting, because progressing the ball isn't one action. It depends on what's in front of you. Are they pressing high? Are they sitting in a mid-block? Or are they dropping very deep? And depending on that picture, the solution could be different. In general, there are three main ways to progress play: either through the opponent, around them, or over them. Everything else fits inside these three ideas. When you go through the opponent, this is the most direct way. You break lines into the midfield, removing players with either one or two passes. But it only works with timing and inside support.
Well, this one is called the Rugger Farm, cause we from the Rugger here every year. Well, this one is called the Rugger Farm, cause we from the Rugger here every year.
And when you go around them, the opponent is controlled. You shift the ball, you move the block, and wait for gaps to appear. This may take longer, but it also controls the game.
Well, this one is called the Rugger Farm, cause we from the Rugger here every year. Well, this one is called the Rugger Farm, cause we from the Rugger.
And finally, when you're going over them, this is the quickest route, because you bypass everything. You bypass the press, the midfield, and the whole structure, and attack directly into the space behind. If it is well timed, it completely flips the pitch. But none of this works until you understand when to use it. To play through, you need support between the lines. And if that support isn't there, you don't have to force it. You wait, or you create it. If under pressure, with no progressive options available, they can go backwards, which is a solid option, and they have to readjust and try again. When you're going through, you can either pass or dribble to break the lines, and making a well-timed pass to break the first and, in some cases, even the second line. This is passing to fit and could be the difference between just having possession and actually using it.
Well, this one is called the Rugger Farm, cause we from the Rugger here every year. Well, this one is called the Rugger Farm, cause we from the Rugger here every year. Well, this one is called the Rugger Farm, cause we from the Rugger here.
In some cases, going through means driving forward with the ball and forcing a reaction, pulling someone out of position.
Well, this one is called the Rugger Farm, cause we from the Rugger here every one is called the Rugger Farm, cause we from the Rugger here every year. Well, this one is called the Rugger Farm, cause we from the Rugger here.
Against well-organized teams, it gets even more difficult because good defensive blocks don't all jump at the same time. Instead of the space appearing instantly, you have to manufacture it. That's where the more technical solutions come in. For example, center backs often invite pressure. They do this by carrying the ball forward. When a center back carries the ball forward, they're not just progressing the ball, they're forcing a reaction from the opposition. As soon as they step out with the ball, someone has to react to that. Usually, a midfielder or a forward jumps out to close them down, and that's the key moment. Because the moment one player leaves their position, the structure behind them changes. So even if the dribble doesn't go all the way, it's already done its job. It's shifted the defensive shape, forcing a reaction and pulling someone out of position. Defenders can also use a third-man combination. In this case, it will be a third-man combination to free the other centre-back. This is a combination which happens through passing to a midfielder who is going to be connecting between the two centre-backs. The midfielder is often under pressure from behind, so he instantly passes the ball to the second centre-back. The trick here is this combination works in attracting pressure and freeing space somewhere else. This happens first by attracting the pressure to the on-ball centre-back, who then passes it to the centre mid, who attracts even more pressure and more bodies towards him. This then leaves the third man, who is the second centre-back, in some free space to either drive on the ball or make a better pass with more time. The result is the press gets bypassed and the space appears on the new side of the pitch and sometimes even in between the lines. A bounce pass can also be used to invite pressure. The difference is now the pressure is where the pass is going rather than to the ball carrier. It is about baiting the press. So the centre-back plays a quick pass into a midfielder, but instead of the midfielder keeping the ball, they immediately return it. At first glance, it looks like nothing happened. But what it actually does, it pulls opponents in to the midfielder, because when the ball goes into the midfield, defenders naturally step forward to press. But the instant it comes back, that pressing momentum is broken. Now the opposition is slightly out of balance and players have stepped forward, distances have been stretched, and the next passing lane is open. So the bounce pass doesn't create the space directly. It creates the movement that creates the space.
Well, this one is called the Rugger Farm, cause we from the Rugger here every year.
And when going around, it could be a normal straight pass from the centre back to the fullback, or when there is pressure, using another kind of a third man combination to change the angle.
Well, this one is called the Rugger Farm, cause we from the Rugger here every year. Well, this one is called the Rugger Farm, cause we from the Rugger here every year.
A switch of play can also be used to go around. It is used to completely change the picture. This is either used in isolation or after a dribble, a third man, or a bounce pass. Because it's never just about the pass. It's about creating the moments where the pass becomes possible. And when going over, every pass should be intentional. Centre backs put less power and more accuracy on these, emphasizing on the backspin to make it easier for the attacker to control. It is important to remember these skills do not happen in isolation, so sometimes they are combined in the same move. For example, a centre back might invite the press, use a third man combination, which ends in a switch like long ball, in a short space of time. At the center of all this is the center back, but not just as a defender, as a decision maker. Because every action comes down to timing, what to do, when to do it, and why. They control the tempo of the game. Slow down play, drawing teams out, fast play, exploiting spaces left behind. And even something as simple as using the sole of the foot could be a game changer. It's not just control, it is the control of time. They pause the game, they invite pressure, and then they choose. And after every pass, they reset, reposition, and stay involved in the next action. Because possession is not one moment, it is a chain. So, why does all this matter? Because every decision affects the opponent. If you are going through them, you break their lines. If you go around them, you move them out of shape. And then if you go over them, you bypass everything. So don't just watch the pass when you look at the center back. Watch what they are trying to create: space, movement, pressure, and timing. Because at the elite level, they don't just start attacks, they control how every attack is built. Possession isn't about keeping the ball, it's about moving the opposition. The ball doesn't just move through them, the game does.